Yo,
Yo, yo.
yes, sir. So did you get to go twice with Manhattan, or you only got to go once to the dance?
I went once. They wanted my sit out year.
The year
They
you said.
lost to Melo. They lost to Syracuse. I was there, but I was sitting out
Okay.
twice. But
So
nah, I was saying you was like getting ready for that moment. Once I was getting better and my confidence came in, I started molding my game after those dudes who like had that confidence and didn't get rattled. I would really observe and watch, and like I would watch like Ron Artest and like even like Charles Jones, and even at St. Raymond's, Vaughn Hunter, and these dudes were like, they were just so confident and they knew what they could do, and it wasn't like they were the poise. You could see the poise with the great players. You notice the poise is always there. They always locked in. They're not making, they're not making amateur mistakes.
yep.
And I had the IQ to be able to do that, to stay in that moment, always stay poised. So no matter the player I was playing against, it never was like a too much of a shock for me. Like, you know how sometimes you'll see a player and they're going to play a great player and they probably can compete, but it might be like those first couple plays, the player scores on them a little too easy, or the player rips them, and then after a while they settle in.
Yeah.
That never really was too much of a problem for me once I got good. So the NCAA tournament atmosphere didn't really faze me. It kind of more was like, this is my chance. I know what I'm here to do. I got to take care of business.
Yeah, you played well. You played well both games. You did your thing. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you come back after that, you still got 1 year left.
Still have 1 year left. Yep, my senior year came after that.
So going into your senior year, what's the mentality for you, knowing that this is it right here? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go into that senior year mentally?
Yeah, mentally, it was tough because I didn't have that good relationship or that trust with the coach.
Okay.
So it was tough. And after that tournament run,
His phone must have died. X, what up? Stace, what's good? See if we get this man back in here, Mr. Basketball. There you go. Yes, sir.
yeah, there you go. I don't know what happened. So he was supposed to leave. Bobby Gonzalez was supposed to leave. So I'm like, yeah, like I hope he get up out of here.
Yeah.
But he ended up staying. So it was weird because I didn't know how it would go, because I didn't have no real positive relationship with him or trust or too much respect for him for the way he treated me my first year playing for him.
Got you.
And it was tough. We lost Lou. Not only Lou, but Dave Holmes was probably the key to most of our wins.
Yeah.
Dave Holmes was playing defense, rebounding, scoring, taking charges, doing all the little things. He was leaving as well.
Yeah.
So, and then after you win it twice, other teams is on your head.
Absolutely.
Other teams is on your head. So I knew I was gonna do well, but in hindsight, I should have prepared better. I feel like I should have worked that much harder, especially seeing how hard Lou worked. You know what I mean? Lou is probably one of the hardest working players I've ever seen.
Yep.
He sacrificed a lot. You know what I mean? He wasn't drinking, smoking, partying. He was always in that gym.
Yeah.
Body was in great shape. I wasn't doing that. And I think a lot of it was, I don't think my mental toughness off the court was there because of Bobby Gonzalez and the way he was. He was very hard to be around, very hard to play for, very hard to deal with. And a lot of people that know him, know that. So I couldn't really go into it the way I feel like I should have. But I still had a tremendous senior year.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
How'd y'all do your senior year?
My senior year, we didn't win too much. We probably went like 17-14, 17-13, something like that. Um, you know, like I said, we lost Lou and Dave. We started two freshmen. We started three freshmen. A freshman at power forward and center. We started C.J. Anderson. He was real talented.
Yep.
And we started Arturo Dubois. He went to Rice.
Yes, sir.
Arturo was good. He was real good. He was a body. He was young though. You know, it's hard to win with young players in college. Win big. You know, we had Jason was a junior now. He was stepping his role up a little, but we just couldn't compete as a team that year consistently. You know, I mean, the funny thing, we beat all of the teams once in the regular season, but
Gotcha.
we wasn't a championship contender that year. But individually, I had some real big games. We played Wichita State. We went to Wichita. This is right before they started blowing up to become, you know, the every year top 25 team. I remember we went to play them. They was 10-0. They was already talking about in the newspaper having these big celebrations because them beating us, they was gonna crack the top 25 for the first time.
Okay.
And we ended up spoiling that for them. We beat them. I had like 27.
Good shit.
So that was good. We played Fordham, and Fordham plays Manhattan every year. It's like a local.
Yes, sir.
I think they call it I forget the name of the tournament. It's a memorial tournament for somebody. I had 31. I got the MVP. I had 35 on Siena. I think I had 20 on Arizona. We played Arizona. So I had some real good games. I got first team all conference, averaged 20. Yeah, individually it was good. I feel like I should have shot the ball more, but you know.
Going into the end of that senior season, putting on how you put on, what are you thinking your next steps are gonna be?
Yeah, my next step, I was thinking, you know, hopefully get into the Portsmouth camp, which was it was an NBA camp for seniors.
Yeah.
I didn't get into that.
Okay.
I think Bobby Gonzalez had something to do with it.
Okay.
It didn't make no sense to me because I was first team all conference. I had the reputation of the best player in New York State.
Yes.
I'm first team all conference in 2 different conferences.
Yep.
I was one of the top 15 scorers in the country as a senior.
Yep.
And the camp features the top 75 seniors in the country.
Okay.
So it's like, how can I not fit in that mix? They took a kid from our conference who was second team on that. So I didn't get into that camp. I think Gonzo had something to do with it.
Yep.
But or maybe it was because I didn't get an agent yet. I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I don't know like how the committee worked to get in that. But
yeah.
I didn't get into that. So my next goal was to get, you know, as many workouts as I could get and hopefully get on the summer league and, you know, see how I could compete then. And I ended up working out for like 4 teams. I worked out for the Nets, the Knicks. You know, they always gonna give you that courtesy workout. I worked out for the Hawks. That was cool. I flew to Atlanta, worked out for them. Those was dope experiences though. You know, going there, you know, working out for Lawrence Frank and, you know, Vince Carter was watching me work out. So those were some good experiences. But I didn't end up getting the summer league. So after that, I hooked up with this agent, and he sent me to Portugal. My first job was in Portugal.
Your first job was out there?
Yeah, my first international job was in Portugal.
What was that like in a foreign country, not speaking the language by yourself? Young kid,
Yeah.
first time alone on the road, and you're far.
Culture shock, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to go home after the first week. The town I was in, it was a tourist town. It was on the coast. We had a beach. It was on the beach, and the big attraction was the casino. So our sponsor was the casino. Our uniform says casino on them.
Okay.
But in the wintertime, it was nobody there. It was like people come for the summer. It was like only a bunch of old people that lived there. It was a small community, so it wasn't that many people. The league wasn't the best. But we had a good team. We had 4 Americans. What it took was for that first check to come. They pay you monthly. Once
Okay.
that first check came, and you get an amount of cash like this, that's when it became easy to stay. It was like, oh, nah, I can do this. This is cool. This is not bad. The basketball, it, it wasn't really no, it wasn't really no adjustment because I kind of already, like I said, I had a basketball IQ, so I already knew what they was trying to do, like
Yep.
as far as playing style. So I was able to fit in pretty easily I had play solid enough to last a year. Like if one thing about overseas, if you're not playing good, you're gonna get sent home. So
Right away.
if you stick a year out overseas, you ain't really got to be like, yo, was you killing? Nah,
Yeah.
you did good. You did good enough for them not to cut you. Like, because at least most leagues,
Yeah.
they can cut you and there's no consequence. It's not like your contract is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing what you got to do, you can be cut. So I played well in Portugal. We went to the championship. We lost. We lost to Shimu Evans. I played against Shimu Evans in the chip. I played against Steve Logan out there. That went to Cincinnati.
Daddy. Yep.
Um, there was a couple other old heads out there who had a cup of coffee in the NBA and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a cool league. I went to the Czech Republic after that. My next year, I played with Lavelle Sanders. He went to Seton Hall. He's how old is he? He was at Seton Hall with Shaheen Holloway. He played the 2 guard with Shaheen. He was real good. Real good. Probably one of the best players I played with. Or I think he could have been an NBA point guard. But I got to play with him, and that was the best country I ever played in and lived in. Czech Republic was awesome.
Oh
Prague,
yeah.
like an hour from Prague. Prague is the capital.
Yep.
Super fun. People super friendly. Spoke, they would speak English, be nice to you. Clubs nice. It was
How was
great. The
the league?
basketball was good.
The
The
league
league
was
was
good.
good. The reason I like the league is because we got to play on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
See, most overseas leagues, you only play on Saturdays unless your team is in an international competition where you play on Wednesdays as well.
Okay.
But the way the Czech league was set up, we would play twice a week, and that's a lot better because when you overseas, it could be real stressful when you practicing all week. And then if you don't play the way you want to play on Saturday, now you got to wait a whole nother week to redeem yourself.
Yeah, to redeem yourself.
And that should be killing you. Like you could practice great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That Saturday come, and you don't put on. You sick with yourself. So the Czech was fun because it was a lot of games.
Okay. That was your favorite country that you played in?
Yeah, that was my best country I played in. So I played there. I had an opportunity to go back. And what I would say to players now, especially with the coronavirus messing up everything and all that,
Yep.
if you go overseas and you get to a league and a team you like, and if they like you and if they want you back, you should just probably go. You should go back. Like, don't always look to see, oh, maybe I get more money, maybe I go to a better league. Because looking back at it, I probably had the opportunity to sit there and probably build for maybe 3, 4, 5 years, because that's what Lavelle did. That's what my teammate did. He stayed there his whole career and probably played 13 years and then started coaching out there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I ended up leaving there, and I did get to a better league. I went to France Pro B.
Okay.
But the team wasn't as good. We lost. We was one of the bottom teams. I played real good out there, real good. I averaged 17, 6 rebounds, some 3 assists. But it was hard, man. I was used to winning.
Yep.
Yeah, it was one point we was back to playing every Saturday.
Okay.
We lost 7 straight games, so I didn't win for a month.
Got you.
So, I was depressed. I was my attitude started getting bad. I started being in practice moody, and I started worrying about the wrong stuff. A couple dudes making more money than me. I'm like, why is he making more money than me? He's not doing nothing. We not winning. You know what I mean? It was kind of had a negative attitude. And
okay,
the way France is, which is strange, if you're not in Paris, France could be. They don't really like Americans too much, so it wasn't really like a good vibe off the court as well.
Okay.
So yeah, France didn't go too well. Then I ended up, where'd I go after that? I went to Hungary, played okay out there. And then I went to Mexico. Kenny Sack got me to Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah. Kenny Sack got me out to Mexico. Shout out to him. Thank him for that forever. It was one of them years after France. I didn't get a call for a while.
Okay.
And it was like October. He's like, yo, you want to come to Mexico? I played in Mexico with him for a couple months.
What was that like?
Yo, that was cool, man, because Kenny Sack was like a superhero to me, you know, in high school, watching what he was doing, being a year behind him.
Yeah.
Seeing what he was doing, he was like a superhero, man. And watching him go to the NBA early, seeing him play on TV, you know, it was crazy. And I always wanted to know, like, what that was like. Because Sack was so humble. He was always such a humble person. So you see him in the summer, if he's playing he'll be playing in the back block street ball tournament.
Yeah.
And he's loving that atmosphere, that tournament. After the game, he's talking to you about that game and playing in other tournaments. Like, you never would hear him talk about being in the NBA or his NBA experiences or none of that.
Yeah.
So finally playing with him in Mexico, we was on like 8-hour bus rides and all that. And it was cool because he would tell me all NBA stories and all that. So we had fun. We played. I came like in the middle of the year. We played like 2 months. Then I ended up going to Hungary. I finished the year out there. Next year I went back to Czech Republic. I got another chance.
Okay.
Played well again. Played real well. I ended up breaking my toe at the end of the year.
Okay.
Messed up everything. My shit ain't really healed right. I tried to come back and play in the playoffs by just taking pain pills.
Okay.
And messed my foot up like even more.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't right for like a year. I couldn't really explode no more. I couldn't really move. So at that point, I sat out like pretty much that whole next year. I think I was like 28, 29 at this time.
Okay.
And then Strick got me to Canada to go play out there. Strick was like the general manager out there.
Yep.
But, you know, by that time, it was kind of starting to wind down. I was like, yo, it's not the same. I can't see myself getting back to that level where I'm making, you know, $6,000 a month, $5,000 a month, you know, at the rate I was going with my foot injury and everything and how stuff was developing. So kind of phased out of it after that. So that's how my career went.
Let me ask you a question. What were those NBA workouts like?
Yo, NBA workouts, it was fire, man. Top class, man. So how it works is they come get you. They're going to send a limo for you or, you know, the black car cab. I'll explain the Jersey one to you. The Jersey. Okay. They came to get me in the black car cab. Went out there. We stayed in the hotel. I think it was a Marriott or the Hilton. Chris Taft was with me. Chris Taft was in the workout.
Okay.
Each NBA workout at the time, I think they still structure them pretty much the same. It was 4 people to a workout.
Okay.
It's usually two positions. So it was me and Larry O'Bannon from Louisville. He was the 2 guard. Okay. And it was Chris Taft and another big dude. I think it was an international big dude.
Got you.
So it's cool. They give you a tab. You could either, you know, eat downstairs or you could order room service and all that. You could order room service for breakfast. So me and Chris Taft ate. Chris Taft was like big at the time. He was coming out as a sophomore, but if you remember his buzz, he was like really supposed to be first round and solidified.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he had the chain and all that already. He was like, I'm like, all right, big time. Yeah, so then the next day they come get you with the shuttle bus. It was 4 of us. You go in there, they had the nameplates for us in the locker, the practice jersey laid out, practice shorts, NBA socks. You know, you get dressed, you're doing all the measurements first. They checking your arm length, your weight, all type of stupid shit. They want to know your finger size, and then you start doing the jumping test and the 3/4 sprint. And then it becomes like a regular workout. You start with shots, one dribble pull-ups. Then they have you start playing one-on-one full court. They had me and Larry O'Bannon, the kid, one-on-one full court, like five, 6 times each possessions. And then we played 2-on-2 at the end. And yeah, that was it. And then Coach Frank talked to us, Lars Frank talked to us. And they show you around the facility, introduce you to people. It was a real cool experience, man. Can't lie.
That's fire. You downplayed your St. Ray's career, bro. You in the St. Ray's Hall of Fame. You're the second lead scorer in there, and you were Mr. Basketball, bro. And that's coming from a kid that went in there 9th grade, not even knowing what basketball was gonna hold for him, because you said yourself you weren't that good yet. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
what shocked everybody with you is that exactly what you did it like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that turnaround, I think, is what makes you legendary in our city, man, because you were an underdog. You were somebody that nobody was really looking at, like you said. Going into in your junior year, it was still like, but then you showed the world. You know what I mean? You was New York Newsday, New York Post, Daily News Play. You know what I mean? Like you did that.
Yeah, I did, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, Drew. Word.
That's a fact.
I think Mike Quick said it at the time. They used to have the Mike Quick high school report. He said something like, "Nobody will ever do what Peter Mulligan did, come out of nowhere and win everything."
Pete, you did that out of nowhere, bro. Nowhere. And then you came up with the Sats ahead of you, the Barretts and all these, you know what I mean? All these big names. They were McDonald's All-Americans, respectively. Mr. Basketball is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what that kind of like made me lose a little respect for what McDonald's stands for and what the process is like. Because for me, I looked at it like, yo, this is not fair. How am I Mr. Basketball, Player of the Year, the best player in the state, and 3 dudes make All-American over me? I mean, I get it. Miss All-American is more for, what you did before your senior year and how you look in AAU and, different, the way your coaches is marking you and, how you being looked at, so it's a lot more that goes into it. But that's why I like Mr. Basketball so much, because the Mr. Basketball Award is production-based. Like, the Mr. Basketball is about what you did. It wasn't more so, McDonald's is more like your reputation.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mr. Basketball means you're the best basketball player of that state.
Facts.
Not just the state.
So that's why that mean a lot, because that was like one. It was what I controlled. I did it. I was the best player in the state, so I got the award. So it was
Daily
well
News,
deserved.
Yeah, New York Newsday, New York Post, all that. Like, it wasn't just that. You did that, bro. And you did it out of nowhere. And when we used to chop it up in the crib, like, one of the first questions I asked you was like, yo, what was that like? Because that's not you don't get those from New York City a lot. You get them, but that's not a regular thing. It's usually the kids upstate that average like 50, and they're playing against little kids, but they're setting scoring records. You did it in the Archdiocese at a time when basketball was competitive, and you leave St. Ray's as the second leading scorer, where a lot of talent went. Like, you solidified in the books, big homie.
Yo, I appreciate you, man. I'm telling you, all I can say, I really grinded for it, man. I really worked for that. Like, so it means a lot, man. And even to get the Hall of Fame last year, what Coach Lopez did for me, put me in the Hall, that meant a lot as well. Because now it's like, yo, and even you bringing me on to this now, it's like, yo, I'm still kind of getting my flowers even now for all the work I did back then with basketball. So
absolutely,
I appreciate you for bringing me on. Word.
I appreciate you, brother. My last question, and I'll let you go. What's life after basketball like for Peter Mulligan?
Man, life after basketball is a blessing now, man. Like I said, I got I got my daughter, little Marigold. You know, I've come a long way because, you know, a lot of basketball players will tell you this. When you get to a high level and you're used to doing it for a long time, it's very hard to transition.
Yeah.
I think I heard Andre Sweet talking about it. He said, yo, it's kind of like PTSD, where you used to having that war mentality, playing every day, going, you know, working out every day, going at it, going at it. Kind of like how football players, it's hard for them to turn that aggression off the field.
Yeah.
And they end up with all those domestic problems and all that.
Yep.
So that adjustment, it took a while for me to really find myself and find what I wanted, you know, what I want to become.
Okay.
But what I can say, what I like about life now and what I feel like life is about,
yeah,
it's about helping people, like trying to help people. So
absolutely.
I got into messing with the kids, doing the after school program, and I took that to start sub-teaching. And now I'm teaching. I'm a certified teacher. I work with the DOE, teaching 5th grade. So just helping the kids like that. Last year was a blast. Last year I coached as well. I taught my 5th graders, and we was in the league in the South Bronx. I just got my master's degree, and I got my daughter. So
congratulations.
I've been blessed, man. Stuff been going real well for me and my family. So I'm just trying to keep taking it day by day and keep applying that same work that I put in the basketball into my daughter and my school kids. You know what I mean? Because just like basketball is a passion, now I love to help people. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. I appreciate you taking out the time to chop it up with me, Pete. You know how we do, bro.
Nah, that's a factory, and I gotta come up there and see you one day. Word, man.
Any day. Come up with the family. You already know what it is. There's always love over here.
All right, my guy.
Appreciate you, my dude.
All right, later. Thank you.
I got Shagari on Sunday. Shagari, the 7-footer, salsa dancing machine. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all Sunday at 8.